Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm out here in the doghouse and I am enjoying this cool down. It is finally like that fall weather. The mornings have been kind of cool. The afternoons are still a little bit warm, but definitely way more comfortable than what they used to be. But this weather is just absolutely wonderful. I'm enjoying being outside, and it is time to just kind of settle down with all those cozy desserts. You think the campfire desserts, and Chase made an absolutely delicious apple like crisp dessert a couple nights ago, and I'm wanting to do my own version of that as well today. So I am out here with some fresh picked, well, I say fresh picked, personally picked mulberries and blackberries that are grown right here on our property. And then I freeze them just for occasions like this. Those mulberries are such a phenomenal fall flavor. So we're going to be making a delicious dessert, kind of similar to Chase's, but with my own twist on it today. And I think it's going to be great for everybody. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, I've got my berries here. Now, these have been thawing out for a couple of hours, but they're still a little on the frozen side, which is just fine. No big deal. I've got, these are the mulberries. And if you guys have never tried a mulberry, you are missing out. They are very similar to blackberries, but way sweeter. They're smaller. Now, the only downside with mulberries is they have this stem on them, like almost like a little cherry stem, and it does not come out of the fruit. It does not pick off the top. The stem actually runs the entire length of the fruit. So when you're cooking them, you have to make sure that you cook them long enough to kind of soften up that stem to where it can be eaten. And once I make them into pies and cobblers and things like that, you cannot taste the stem at all. You can't even sense it's there. It kind of just mashes in with the rest of the berries. So they are great for baking. And then these are my blackberries. And these were actually grown off of a plant that my mother brought to me. Ooh, I almost didn't have a big enough bowl, y'all. But those were grown off of a plant that my mother brought to me that she said she didn't think was going to make it, and she wanted to see if I could do anything with it. So she gave it to me, and it has been growing on our fence for the last 2 years, and it's gotten quite large, and it gives us lots of really large blackberries now. So these are really cool to have on hand, and I love blackberries. They're a nice little snack too. Sometimes I'll use them as an excuse when I'm walking. On one end of my walking trail, we've got our mulberry tree, and on this end of my walking trail, I've got the blackberry brambles, so I get a snack on both ends. Doesn't do me any good on my walk, but hey, it makes it a little more enjoyable. All right, so my berries, they're honestly sweet enough with the mulberries, and I am going to add just a little bit of brown sugar to them. And this isn't so much to sweeten them up as it is to just kind of help pull some of the juices out of them. So I'm not going to use much at all, maybe like these 2 teaspoons here. And I'm just going to toss that sugar around. If you have never known how to pull some of the juice out of berries, just put sugar on them and let them sit. That sugar will draw the juice and the syrup right out of your fruit. You can do that with strawberries and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to get just a little bit of a coating of the brown sugar on these berries. And like I said, the mulberries are super sweet. So we're not going to need much sugar. I say that, but here in a minute, I'm going to pile sugar all over these things. So we definitely do not need to add a whole lot of sugar now. All right, so I'm going to set these over to the side, and we're going to let those sit while we move on to our next step. All right, so on to our next step is making the crisp topping. So this is the same cake mix that Chase used. It is just butter pecan. This was delicious on the apple crumble. That is a whole other thing. We usually use like vanilla or golden cake mix. And we decided to try it with his apple and a whole other level. So that is now my go-to. So we're going to, I don't even know if I'll need all of this. We're going to stop there. Scoop some of this honey butter into, I thought that would be a good addition. Scoop some honey butter into my container. Then I'm going to get some gloves because we're going to just kind of mash that butter into the cake mix, and it just makes like a crumbly texture. So for you guys, that hasn't been any delay in our upload schedule, but for us, we actually did take a little bit of a break, and we celebrated our 5th anniversary, and it was really nice. We went to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg and did the whole touristy thing up there, and we just kind of took our time and explored and found new little spots and shops and restaurants and everything that we had never came across before. So it was a really fun trip. We booked this trip months ago, before we ever knew we were going to have our market, and before we had really a chance to like look at what some of the events were going to be. Oh, that's perfect. It's nice and like, crumbly. And it turns out that there was a car show going on down there at that time, which they had just finished with Rod Run and Jeep Invasion a few weeks ahead. And this time they had what they called Slammed Enough. We had no idea it was going to be going on until like a couple days before we left. And it was really cool. It was a nice little surprise because there was really cool cars everywhere. And it gave us lots of entertainment. We were able to just sit either outside of our hotel and watch the cars go up and down the strip, or even in our hotel room. We had a perfect view of the strip and was able to see everything in Pigeon Forge. All right, so we're setting that to the side. Now we're going on with our next step, and that is going to be our cookie base. Now this is part where I'm going differently from what Chase did. He put his apples directly into the dish and didn't really have any kind of crust on bottom. All the crunchy was on top. I'm going to do it both ways. So I got some pecan sandies. If you've never tried one of these, they are delicious. They're a shortbread cookie that is flavored like pecans. If that surprises you, then you need to eat more cookies. So I'm going to break these up and just kind of line the bottom of my dish. And this is going to go hand in hand with that butter pecan topping. Yeah, planned ahead. Alright, so you can see I've got my cookies all lined up in the dish. Now we're going to go in with our berries. We're just going to spoon these right over the top. Like I said, there's some of this is still a little frozen. No big deal. Not going to hurt a thing. These can be done with the bagged frozen berries from the grocery store. It will be delicious. Just get like a berry mix. Mulberries, I do not think are common everywhere in the U.S. We are just fortunate enough here in South Carolina that we have them just growing wild everywhere. We have quite a few. I think we've got 4 or 5 mulberry trees just on our property alone. And blackberry brambles are almost like weeds here. We've got blackberry brambles everywhere as well. I am going to save some of these to the side for another recipe. So if y'all are interested to see what I'm doing with the extra berries, make sure to stay tuned and check the channel, because that will be coming out very, very soon. And let me give you a hint, it might be a little boozy. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. But anyway, alright, so we've got our layer of berries. So now I'm going to go in with some marshmallows. We're pretty much just going to be copycatting what Chase did with the apple ones. We don't need to be fully covered, but we just kind of want everything to get a little bite of marshmallow on it. And then white chocolate chips. These were so delicious. I did not know how they were going to go together with the marshmallow. I thought that they were going to either compete or cancel each other out. They work very, very well together. We're going to add a few more of those. And then our crumbly topping. Sprinkle that all right on top. This I am going a little heavy-handed on it because it was delicious on the apple one. So we want extra. Plus, my berries are probably going to create a whole lot more juice than the apples because that was already apple pie filling. So it was already in like a syrup. So it will soak it up. And that's also the reason for the cookies on bottom, to kind of help control this from just turning into a delicious berry soup. All right. Deliciousness. Oh my goodness. That looks so good.
All right. Now that we've made a big mess, we've got our marshmallow caramel apple crisp all ready to go to the Traeger. I'm running it.
I was not checking Chase's video to make sure not to add butter on top. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I just checked his video because I couldn't remember at this point if he added anything on top of his. He did not. So we are going to also stop here because I do not want to deviate from how he made that topping. It was amazing. So we are going to go ahead and get ready to pop this on the Traeger. I've got it heated up to 250 degrees. And we are going to let this bake probably 20-30 minutes, and then we'll go from there. So I will see you back in a little bit. Let's call this Autumn Berry Crisp. That sounds good. And it kind of describes what we've got going on with the pecan and the berries and all these warm flavors. This is going to be the perfect fall dessert. So now I get to enjoy it first because I put the hard work in. So let's get us a little scoop here. It is still extremely hot. Look at that. I don't have berry juice running everywhere. That's a good sign, y'all. Nobody likes berry soup. All right, so now it's finally time to give this a taste test. And let me tell you, the smell of this has taken over the entire kitchen. It smells so good. And at the same time that I smell the berries, I smell the pecan, like that butter pecan flavor. Or butter pecan scent. Let's give it a try. Wow. Many times I have made mulberry cobbler for our family. Many times I have made desserts with blackberries. This may be the best one yet. Using Chase's recipe that he did his apple crisp with, to do the berries, that this was the ticket. Oh my gosh. The crisp on top, just delicious and buttery and crispy. And then you have those pecan sandies on the bottom. I'm getting a little crunch from both sides. This is absolutely delicious. And if you're wondering what this is also made with those same berries. We'll have a video for that as well. I love filming days. I get to try all kinds of yummy new things. And funny enough, right now within our company, we're doing a Maddog's weight loss challenge. So we are trying to lose some inches. So days like this are not helping my cause very much, but honestly, I'm not mad at it. But I did lose some inches. It's just not where I wanted to lose some inches. We lost some inches here, which feels so much better. And everything is just, seasons are changing, hair's changing, everything else is changing too because we are wide open right now. We're getting ready for a catering event this weekend. We are doing markets here just in a couple of weeks here on our property. We are working on getting our other market up and running. There's an update video up on our second channel now. If you haven't checked that out, it is Maddog's Full Access. And we get kind of behind the scenes look of what goes on with us beyond the kitchen. So yeah, lots of cool stuff, lots of things to see. And there's a couple clips of like our anniversary that I've dropped a short for. So lots of really cool stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate all the support. We are absolutely loving watching this channel grow and look forward to what the future holds. But until next time, I'm going to be enjoying my fruits of my labor.